Across the world, over land and over water, bridges provide access to men and goods, connecting regions and cities, linking workers to jobs, goods to markets, and people to essential services. These superstructures are designed and built to last for decades. But for this to happen, maintenance and rehabilitation works must be carried out periodically to ensure their integrity. Let's take you on an exciting journey into the world of bridge construction and maintenance undertaken by the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari through the nationwide bridge design, construction and maintenance project of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. Nigeria has over 2,000 bridges nationwide that were designed and constructed to facilitate travel, trade and tourism, whilst connecting remote and rural areas to urban and commercial hubs. However, years of neglect and lack of maintenance have led to significant dilapidation of these critical infrastructure. And so, in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to ensuring complete overhaul and rehabilitation of nationwide infrastructure, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing has since embarked on a nationwide rehabilitation and renovation exercise of bridges across the length and breadth of the country.
Our responsibility really is to do all that is necessary to provide the infrastructure that helps to sustain life, to drive businesses, and to deliver prosperity. The core components of that are housing projects, as well as roads, highways, bridges, and general land transport infrastructure. And so we developed a national maintenance policy and framework, which we presented to the Federal Executive Council, which was to compel every ministry, department, and agency of government to undertake a mandatory maintenance program. So bridges that have not been maintained, many of them since they were built, are now under maintenance programs by the Ministry of Works and Housing. At the moment, there are 37 of such bridges across the country.
These bridges, as you can see them, they are superstructures, standing, and the load is transmitted down to the soil through piles. You don't see the piles because they are driven into the soil. Then after that, then you get the piers. The piers are those that you see standing, holding the bridge. Then you come to the horizontal members where finally you have the deck where the vehicle apply. So the connections between the horizontal members and the piers, we connect them through bearings. So these are like shock absorbers, which can be replaced from time to time. And as concrete is, it expands and contracts. So you need to allow some joints where it can breathe. If you don't, it will crush and crumble. So you allow what we call expansion joint intermittently on the bridge. So the expansion joint also are special material that are put there to allow this movement of expansion and contraction of concrete. So it's the combination of all this that makes the bridge stands. So due to wear and tear and repetitive loading and weathering, you need to be replacing the expansion joint from time to time and the bearings under the bridge between the horizontal members and the piers. So these are things that we inspect from time to time and take inventory and ensure that they are being corrected from time to time.
We have a bridge maintenance unit, and this bridge maintenance unit, it's a unit that goes around to check the integrity of bridges. And when this integrity is confirmed, then it is brought up to us. You know, they now determine from the integrity tests whether we should maintain this bridge or whether it is still serviceable or not.
If in eventuality you see any equipment that is not satisfactory or any individual carrying out any unsafe practice, it is your duty to stop that act. Do not compromise, do not manage.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and a team of workers dressed in orange coveralls is having a toolbox meeting. This is the work site for the Murtala Mohammed Bridge, Cotton Karfe, and this team is made up of specialist divers who are prepping to go underwater for investigative and repair works underneath the bridge.
What we are doing is to remove the surface rust of the metal inside the water. The first process is removing the marine goods. This drives 360 degrees. So as it drives, it takes out the marine goods. This process prepares the plate for us to add the epoxy. So that's basically what we are doing on the underwater aspect of Murtala Mohammed Bridge, Cotton Karfe. Juliet Oscar Echo Mike, can you read me?
The Murtala Mohammed Bridge in Cotton Karfe, which was built in the 1970s, is made up of two co-joined bridges of 1.8 kilometers each. And apart from the underwater works currently taking place underneath the bridge, there are other key rehabilitation activities ongoing, including the cleaning and repainting of all reinforcements on the piers, covering cracks and openings, removal and replacement of all expansion joints and bearings, as well as repair works on the embankment of the bridge.
For years, people used to put layers of asphalt, which is more weight for the bridge, and actually it's damaging also the expansion joint. We have 12 expansion joints on the two bridges. They are total off, must be replaced. So we are going to replace the expansion joint on top. We took all the old layers after layers over layers of asphalt, the old one, and we are going to renew layers that will give the stability of the bridge one time, not too heavy. We have also abutment. Abutment is the end of the bridge where we are stabilized the soil around the end of the bridge and covering with a stone pitching. So we are preventing all the damages in the future for the bridge. Actually, the bridge after this treatment will get a new life, 30, 40 years and above.
500 kilometers from the Cotton Karfe Bridge in the city of Lagos, another key bridge maintenance project is underway. Opened in 1990, the Third Mainland Bridge is one of the longest and busiest bridges on the continent. And with a daily traffic count of 132,702 heavy and light vehicles, traffic is constant on the Third Mainland Bridge, connecting the Lagos mainland to the commercial center of Africa's largest economy on the Lagos Island. In order to preserve the integrity of this key national infrastructure, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing regularly conducts maintenance works on the bridge, with the most recent being some underwater confirmatory tests that were carried out in 2018. This time, however, the maintenance program is slightly different. On the 24th of July 2020, the bridge was partially closed to commence extensive renovation works on the substructure and superstructure. And one of the most critical activities being carried out is the replacement of 17 expansion joints on the bridge.
So now we are demolishing the head of the joint, because the procedure is we start with the head of the joint, we remove the steel of the head of the joint, then we'll leave a little bit of time to release the post tension and cable, and then we can start with the demolition of the central part. While we wait for this release, we can start the demolition of the head of the third joint. So we are working on several fronts, let's say. This machine is working with 900 bar of pressure. That means that by mistake your arm is going there, it will be cut very, very easily. The only challenge is that I believe that we have to cast the new joint on night time, because the vibration given by the vehicle will affect the stability of the casting.
We are cutting the concrete to make sure we are able to remove the expansion joint. But right under the bridge, the deck will be lifted up so that it will allow us to change the bearings that we are going to replace. After we have done that, we are still going to use what we call epoxy gum to hold the bearing down. All these are the work that we are going to do under the bridge. Right inside the water, we have the pipe cap. We are going to check the pipe cap and see the conditions, and then we are going to do the painting to prevent rusting of the exposed reinforcement. Peradventure in future, there's something like that. So those are the kind of things that we are going to do right under the bridge, and some are inside the water. We have the divers that are going to work with us, which we carried it out. Everybody will see them when the time comes for them to do it. The Federal Ministry of Works is working to make sure that we do not go beyond that 6 months of the partial closure which we have announced. And the Federal Ministry of Works is doing everything possible to make sure that the contractor works very well and works without requesting for extension of time. What we are doing now is something that is very necessary, and the lifespan of the bridge will increase.
Bearing in mind that the partial closure of the bridge would impact significantly on commuter experience, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing has also engaged contractors to ensure that other bridges and roads were worked on in order to create alternative routes for commuters. Eko Bridge and Marine Beach Bridge are among many bridges in Lagos that are also receiving urgent attention in order to create alternate routes for commuters.
The progress of the work is about 35%. And if you are going to ask me anymore, with the materials that it's on site and the materials that they are coming, it's like about 50% of the completion of the project. People are passing on the top of the bridge. They don't see any activity. They think that we are not working. But the major activity is down over here. And up to now, we changed about 4 sections. This is the last section we are doing for the first phase, before we get the asphalting phase.
This bridge is important to create alternative route for Yola. Luckily, this particular route serves as route to Lagos Island. we're practically going to have the piers jacketed. We will replace the expansion joint and replace the bad bearings on the bridge, basically.
Currently, more than 38 bridges across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country are undergoing massive renovation and rehabilitation. These bridges include the Old Niger Bridge in Anambra, Ogara Bridge in Delta, Ethiop Bridge in Delta, Isaac Boro Bridge in Rivers, Tatabo Bridge in Niger, Makurdi Bridge in Benue, Katinala Bridge also in Benue, Ajakuta Bridge in Kogi, Tamburawa Bridge in Kano, Mayanchi Bridge in Zamfara, Buruku Bridge in Kaduna, and Chachangi Bridge in Taraba. These are just a few of the numerous bridge rehabilitation projects being undertaken by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to create better travel experiences for commuters and foster trade and economic activities. Another key bridge reconstruction project that is set to make a significant positive impact on the beneficiary communities is the Bode Sadu Diversion Bridge in Kwara State.
You know, this particular bridge, or let's mean this particular road we are on, is the only road from the Lagos ports that normally carry the passengers and the load from the Lagos port to the entire northwest. The purpose of constructing this particular diversion is to relieve the existing bridge that is distressed. So part of the traffic was diverted here in order to avoid the sudden collapse of the existing bridge.
Kò kí sí traffic because ọ̀nà iná wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ṣe ni ọkọ̀ move normal adúpẹ́ fún diversion tí wọ́n ṣe yìí because ọ̀nà yìí ó leak sí many states ó leak sí Niger, Kaduna, including FCT, Abuja. So ọ̀nà yìí ló dẹ̀ so majority even less north and west ọ̀nà yìí ló so wá papọ̀. So kún ọjọ́ ọ̀nà yìí adúpẹ́ ọ̀nà náà àwọ̀ diversion yìí àwọ̀ adúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run because wọ́n rí sí pẹ̀lú wa ni wọ́n fi ṣe.
Limankara Bridge in Borno State is another bridge project being undertaken by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing that is designed to truly make a difference in the lives of the beneficiaries. Borno State was once the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency, and this bridge was one of several key infrastructures that were destroyed by the insurgents.
Matsalolin da muke samu akan hanya wani lokaci in mu za mu zo za mu tafi za a rike mu yara na za a ce sun fito a gaba ko kuma a bayan mu. In Allah wani lokaci za mu daga Ubade har mu iso daga Ubade zuwa Maiduguri muna kwana biyu wani lokaci saboda matsaloli yanda mutanen suna fita suna dan rike mu ba time sai time ya kare ko a Madagale ko a Gula sai a rike mu kwana. Kaji mu iso mu bi situ da wani lokaci. An taimaka ai mana ga daga alhamdulillah saboda muna shiga rami na wahala muke sha.
Although the destruction of this bridge has caused untold hardship for the people of this community, there is light at the end of the tunnel as the contract to rebuild the bridge has been awarded and contractors have already been mobilized to site.
Now presently we concentrate on the Limankara Bridge. And immediately, when we have mobilized from the side, we have mobilized immediately. When we came, we did a soil investigation. And after the soil investigation, we did a piling. We bring equipment for piling. We did a very good piling. And after the duration that we're supposed to allow it to cure, it has cured. Then we did a comprehensive load test. After conducting a comprehensive load test, now all our substructures, you can see, the pile cap, abutment is completed. The contract awarded last year, and we still have like 2 months completion time. And definitely, from what we have on ground now, we'll complete it at stipulated time.
The execution of these numerous bridge projects, which runs into billions of naira, has created almost 20,000 direct and indirect jobs and significantly boosted the local economies of the beneficiary communities, thanks to the Presidential Executive Order 3, which ensures that the vast majority of materials and human resources used to execute these projects are proudly Nigerian.
I work with ceramic, BN Ceramic. As I leave that place, I come home, I started using my bike before I come see this work, and I joined them. So as I joined them, the work is, I'm benefited inside it. I'm following them using concrete mixer, with other things. The wheelbarrow we are pushing it to where we are working, and we are casting the thing normal. My mother house, I have been trying to do since all this while, but I can't be able to complete it. I'm using the money for my mother house.
Mo ti iṣẹ́ bí a ti máa lé 2 years báyìí. Mo ní wọ́n ṣe travel wọ iṣẹ́. Daily a máa ń gba owó tá bá ti parí iṣẹ́ tiwa. Wọ́n help láyé tọ́jú fẹ́ràn àbúrò àti mọ́mí àdéhùn fún dájú náà tó bá ká bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn ọ̀dẹ́ ṣì fáìn mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Alhamdulillah, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ náà, mo rí yàtọ̀. Ojú ọ̀nà wa yìí látìgbà tí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó ti di pé wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ níbẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti ń lọ. Mọ́tò ń lọ, ó ń bọ̀, ó ń kọjá tí ó dẹ̀ rí bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. Mo ń ṣe bísínẹ́sì yẹn lọ dáadáa. Ọjà ó tún lékún ju ti tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ.
For as long as we can remember, bridges have played an important role in our lives and society. They continue to facilitate trade, travel, and tourism. They connect people in different places and open up opportunities for communities that are isolated.
It is our responsibility to ensure that these bridges are maintained. And actually, if we have been doing so as a country for a very long time, we would not have gotten to where we are now. That is the serious dilapidation and the need to maintain this bridge now, the number of them which require our attention. These are very, very strategic and very critical at this stage to do them, and we have taken them as their conditions are. You know, we have put those ones that are very critical, that require more attention, quick attention first, and we are working on them. And then we are following them step by step. Nothing gives you joy when you see a finished road, people plying the road, you know, with a lot of pleasure, you know, driving pleasure. And we want to ensure that we finish most of our roads that we are currently working on.
So far, a total number of 55 bridge projects have been awarded since 2015. 16 of them have been completed. And before August 2022, 43 bridge projects are scheduled for completion.
What we do here gives me a lot of satisfaction because I see people struggling, and how we do our work changes struggle to ease, to comfort, from those who were able to provide direct employment through our contracts and subcontracts, to those whose dignity we preserve through how we optimize the resources we have to provide payments so that they can get on with their lives, pay their bills, and feel a part of this commonwealth, to the people who actually benefit on the site, many of whom we will never meet, but some of whom I have met, and whose experiences and stories to me just tell me that we are on the right track. You know, people who had no work until we awarded a particular road, people who had equipment that was idle for years until we awarded a particular housing project, And to people who are now saying, oh, we don't sleep on the road again, we know it's not finished. When are you going to finish it? The conversation has changed. And so I'm really humbled to have this privilege to serve this country that has given me so much. And I feel inspired to go and do more.
From the east to the west, from up north to down south, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing is hard at work building bridges to prosperity. So as we celebrate 60 years together as a nation, let us not see these superstructures as just concrete and steel monuments that simply grant us passage over land and water, but more as metaphorical connections that can help us foster greater peace, prosperity, and unity.